Listen to this. This is terrifying. MG ZS electric vehicle malfunctions. OMG, what a night I just had with my new electric car. Only 6 months old. Not my words, the words of Brian from off of Facebook. Many of you sent me this story. Simply had to address it. Driving home from Kilsyth, Lanarkshire, around 10 p.m. when my car malfunctioned, leaving me with no brakes. The engine off button was not working. The car was driving, but I could not brake or stop the car. Driving through red lights with the hazard lights on and trying to make other drivers aware of the issue. I rang my partner to come quickly in the car and help alert traffic ahead until I could stop the car, but the car would not stop or slow down, even driving up hills. I dialed 999 and within minutes I seen blue lights coming towards me in every direction. Police cars were stopping traffic at roundabouts and traffic lights to give me a clear passage until they could decide how to stop the car. The decision was made by police after 15 minutes, instructing me to crash into the back of one of the police vans driven by the police inspector further up the road at as slow a speed as possible on a 60-mile-an-hour road. And then the police van would brake and force my car to stop. It was terrifying to be in this situation. I bet it was, Brian. I bet it was. Here is some photos which were taken of me with police patrols all around me and an inspector in a police van driving by my side to try to calm me down, telling me the plans to help stop the car. After coming to a stop, the car just started moving on its own again as soon as the police van moved forward. So the police officer jumped into my car and once again, we had to force the car to hit the police van to stop the car from moving. It's like the car was driving on its own and having no control was really stressful. 5 hours later, the RAC turned up to rescue me and I got home at 5:30 a.m. Well, at least I'm safe and well. I have lots to thank these police officers for, with their calm head in deciding a safe way to bring my car to a stop. As I said, many of you have sent this to me. I have reached out to Brian to try and do an interview with him because I know from looking at his Facebook profile, he does some real cool stuff with like men's mental health, and I want to talk to him about that as well. But this is terrifying. So essentially, this is the car's gone all speed too. Keanu Reeves is at the wheel. It won't stop. It won't brake. You can't turn the engine off. And the inspector person man, had to put their van in front of the MG to slam the brakes on to bring it to a stop. That is terrifying. But there's more to this. Right, comments. What car is this, Brian? Says someone. Well, it's an MG ZS electric vehicle and it's only 6 months old. Oh my gosh, what a horror movie scenario. The main thing is that you are safe, well and unhurt. I don't like these electric cars. They're not any good at all. Your experience clearly shows the dangers they can be to the public. Bless you and bless the police. What a lovely comment. It could happen to any of us, but that was truly scary. I would never buy an electric car or even a hybrid. There is a fail-safe system to counteract its brain. That doesn't make sense. I'm relieved there was no injury to you. Take care. Okay, so a lot of the comments didn't quite make sense. But the point is, and man has been driving an electric car that has been accelerating uncontrollably. I tried to explain this to my children this morning because so many people had sent me the article, and they asked me if it could happen in our car. And I said, well, not so much, because the throttle pedal down there is connected, well, first to my foot, then a cable, then probably a bracket, then probably a right angle, then the cable's connected to the throttle body opens, air goes in, petrol goes in, engine creates movement forwards. But in a modern car, your accelerator pedal is not so much connected to a mechanical cable, it's more likely to be a switch that talks to a computer. And the computer goes, oh, he's accelerating. We better make forward movement. So if it malfunctions and you're not on the accelerator, but the computer thinks you are, there's your forward movement. That's why it doesn't so much happen in old cars. Yeah, the cable can get jammed and the throttle body can get stuck open and all that sort of stuff, but you can just turn the key off and pull the handbrake. What do you do in an electric car when you have an electric handbrake? Now, is this a problem that we've seen before? I've done some digging, right? I've done a little bit of digging. And I found this. This is on mgevs.com. This is their online forum. This post was from, I've got two actually. They're both from September last year. First one, I'm interested to learn if anybody has had the emergency braking applied for no reason at all. So this is the opposite to what we've just had. This is the MG4 long range, and on 3 occasions now, while driving at about 20 miles an hour, what seems to be an emergency stop for no apparent reason, i.e. there's nothing passing behind or in front. Luckily, no other cars were close. The brakes have slammed themselves on. So we've got an MG here where the brakes are going on totally unexpectedly. And if I go to the second post that I found, we have this one. MG4 safety issue, May 17th, 2023. So 6 months ago, less than 6 months ago. Uncontrolled acceleration. Having test driven the majority of the competition and ultimately gone for the MG4, we've been accepting some of its issues. We know that a lot of these electric cars have problems. Until last week, we'd covered 5,000 miles in 3 months with very little complaints. Occasional phone connection problems, no sound direction while using the navigation. Basically, a lot of these complaints about these MGs are to do with the infotainment system. See my other video on that the other day. Big 6-inch screens on there, you're messing with it, changing your climate, you crash your car. Just what seems to happen. During a wet Tuesday last week, I pulled away from a set of traffic lights, and on reaching 40 miles an hour and taking my foot off the accelerator, I was concerned that we were still accelerating. The lane assist was off. It was in normal mode with no other driver assist switched on. I braked and then lifted my foot off the brake and felt immediate acceleration again. Holding it on the brake for approximately 200 yards, we turned into a side street and reversed round. Same issue in reverse. Speed 3, backwards attack. Found a place to park and powered off the car, got out and locked it, tried again, same issue. The AA were called, who tested it, same issue, disconnected the 12-volt battery, cleared the system, which allowed us to drive to our dealer. In the circumstances, you would have thought that this potential safety issue would be serious enough to garner MG's interest. I believe there's been similar instances with Teslas. However, despite the dealer providing the fault log the day after and chasing a response, nothing appears to be happening. So, my question to you, if you're watching this and you own an MG ZS, has this happened to you? Either your brakes going on when you don't want them on, or your accelerator going on when you don't want it on. This is a problem with these cars. And reading through the comments, they're not alone, but the response they're getting from MG is little to none, basically. So, Brian from off of Facebook has had a terrible experience. All you guys from off of Facebook have read Brian's experience and sent it to me. I've done some research in about 20 minutes whilst having a coffee and found that other people are having the same problem. So if you're out and about and driving in traffic, keep away from MG ZS's just in case they are accelerating uncontrollably with many, many police cars coming at them from different directions. And I know you're all thinking about that Tesla crash in China, which I'm pretty sure ended up being a fatality. But it didn't make sense that the car was accelerating the way it was through the kind of streets that it was. It must have been the same thing. So, do we have a problem with electric cars accelerating and being out of control? Yeah, I reckon we do. But not all of them go on Facebook when the owner posts it, which means they don't all go viral, which means they don't all get sent to me, and they don't all go in the mainstream media. So, who's having issues with their EVs accelerating? Come on, email me. Let's hear from you. What do you think in the comments? What would you do if that was you? Thankfully, because this car is a 10-valve auto, I reckon I could roll out of the car. Look, I'll show you. I reckon I can get out this car. So if mine was accelerating uncontrollably, we get out of the car and then get back in and quickly pull the handbrake, just like that. A lot easier with an old car, isn't it? That was a bit of a stupid trick, to be honest. It didn't really teach anyone anything, but I wanted to end with something dramatic, and I failed because I'm a wimp. Conclusions with Jeff Buys Cars. Right, I'm going to go edit this video. You tell me what you think in the comments. Many people are staring at me right now. That was a bit of fun, but not for Brian. Thanks for watching. Brian, if you're watching, get in touch.